Tyler Terry again here with Fulcrum Archery. We've already kind of talked about basic setup of vertical knock point and running a center shot. Now we're going to talk about timing a drop away. Basically what we have here is we have a ripcord rest. I've already gone ahead and run the lift cable through the bus cable of this bow, so that way this is what's actually going to activate the rest. So in order to kind of save some time here, I've kind of pre-set up some stuff. I went ahead and set the knock point and the center shot, and went ahead and set up our the cable, the actual activation cable through the cable of the bow. Whenever I set all this stuff, I always like to make sure that my bow is level and plumb, which everything is set up correct, as we've already stated in other videos. But what we're going to do here is we're going to talk on actually the activation of this rest. I'm going to start with having plenty of slack here. There's multiple ways to set this up. You can use the little clamping blocks or the football that's provided by ripcord. I like to have mine tied positively to the cable or through the cable, ideally. It's just a little cleaner setup. It's a fail-safe. It's going to work all the time. You're not going to have any issues with it. So we already have a piece tied here, served in. We have it run through just to save a little time here. So what I'm going to demonstrate now is we've got it set up. The rest is mounted. Everything's ready to go. I'm going to peel this level off because we don't need that anymore. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm checking to make sure, and he'll pan in here a little bit, I'm checking to make sure that whenever I draw this, it's actually going to activate the rest or cock the rest, so that way when I fire the bow, it's going to let the rest fall, so that way we clear fletches and all that stuff. It's going to make sure that the rest is activated. So right now we're going to check and just see where we're at baseline. I'm going to draw the barrel. Okay, right now it didn't activate, so that lets me know that I need to shorten or speed up the timing of the lift cable. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this through, shorten it up. All right, now let's try it again. Oh, see there, it moved, but it activated it way too soon. So that means I need to kind of find a happy medium there. Because ideally, I want this thing to activate about 1 inch before I'm at full draw. That gives me enough safety and enough room to know that if by, and this is not ideally going to be used on a hunting bow. Hunting situations are not always perfect. You're not always sitting there where you can take the time and make sure that you execute the shot perfectly. If you creep a little or something like that, that's going to ensure that I still have enough timing built in the rest to make sure that it's going to activate, it's going to fall away, and it's not going to affect my shot too much. So let's check the timing one more time. Coming to close to full draw. It activated, and I still had just a hair left, so it should fall away. Okay, right there, I'm going to check it one more time. I'm going to pull just a little through. I'm going to go ahead and cock the rest again, and you'll notice whenever this activates, watch the launcher blade. Okay, we get it. I come to full draw, it's going to actually activate and then come down. So there it's cocked, come to full draw, activates, falls away. So here I want to make sure that we're close again. It cocked. Now I know that whenever I fire this arrow, it's going to fall away and the arrow is going to fly just like it's supposed to. Now that I know this is where it's supposed to be, I'll take my razor blade. I'm going to cut off just a little here, so I have a little that I can pull through. Now what I'm going to do, take my pliers, I'm going to pull this bit out, okay? So I'm about to get my lighter fired up here. Now basically I'm going to burn this just like I would on my D-loop. So I'm going to take that, melt it down. And remember, you don't actually really want to set it on fire. If it does catch on fire, it's not the end of the world, but ideally I'd like to just get this hot and just melt the thread, so that way I get a good even burn. Let it cool for just a second and then flatten it out. Make sure it's good and uniform, okay? You want plenty of surface there so that way it won't pull through your cable. So from here, I'm going to pull this back to where it's just snug there against the bottom of this serving and in the cable. And if you look, that's a super clean way to set this up. Then my cable's running on the outside of everything, so it's not going to get hung on anything. I don't have any issues with the cable slide running into the cable guard. And this is something that's really important too. Whenever you set one of these cable activated dropaways, make sure that your point of contact, that your activation cable connects to the bow, is at least 2 inches underneath the point in which it goes in the rest, okay? That's gonna ensure that as this is traveling up, everything is gonna clear and it's gonna create the proper amount of slack to actually activate that rest. If it's too high, okay, and it pulls it straight back, there's a good chance that the rest is gonna false fire. It's not gonna fire properly. So always make sure that, you know, a good rule of thumb is you're 2 inches or so below. I went quite a bit further than that just because I like it out of the way. So at this point, we're gonna check it one more time. I'm gonna cock the rest. I have everything set up and activated here. We're gonna draw it one last time. Rest cocked and activated. Worked perfectly, nothing pulled through. So we're right where we need to be. At this point, we can move on now, go to our paper tuning, do a final setup and fine tune of the bow. Vertical knock point set, center shot set. Now I know that my rest is timed correctly. And from this point, we can continue on with setting up the bow. We can go ahead and throw in our peep, get everything ready to rock. We appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Fulcrum Archery.